back to the Lowdown Podcast, your home for the untold stories of sports, presented by Lojo Media. I'm your host, Lauren A. Jones, live in Los Angeles, and I have some amazing guests in studio today. Former SDSU guard Aqeel Quinn will join me momentarily, and a little later on in the show, I'll have one of the most amazing photographers in Los Angeles. He covers everything at Staples Center, Aaron Poole, images in the building. So I just wanted to start off with a little debacle that happened to me last week. And I want to take a moment to kind of just acknowledge that it was a complete mistake. So I sent out a text message, and ironically, it was to promote my podcast. And the text message had nearly 331 people. Actually, that's the accurate answer. 331 people in one message. Now, I want to apologize to everyone who was in that message. It was a complete disaster and a technology malfunction. I'm blaming it on the technology. I created a group so that I could distribute to my closest family and friends my podcast and to share with them the great things that I'm doing. And when I got out of the shower, I came back to complete and utter chaos. So to anyone who was inconvenienced by that crazy group message, I truly apologize. And obviously I've been working really hard to get out a lot of content and to distribute it in unique and innovative ways. And so I would never do anything to undermine the hard work that I've been putting in to make my dreams a reality. And so I just wanted to take a brief moment and acknowledge that. Now, that's behind us. Moving on, I want to bring in one of my close friends, actually, Aqeel Quinn. He's a former SDSU guard. And now he's having a successful rap career. Aqeel, welcome to the show.
Lauren, a.k.a. Lojo Media, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure, and I love seeing what you're doing now.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
So I want to get into the news because LeBron James, King James, announced his final 4 teams and a free agency, right? And so he was flirting with the Lakers. The Rockets were in the mix. Obviously, the Cavs are going to be one of the teams that he considers. And then Philly's in the mix now with this young team, right? I personally think that the 76ers and the Lakers are his highest rated teams at this point. And I kind of, poked a little hole when I asked him at All-Star Weekend, I said, how does LA rank in terms of, memories for All-Star Weekend? And this is what he had to say about the experience. Lauren Jones, LA Sentinel. When you look back right here.
Okay.
Hi. When you look back on this weekend, what will stand out most to you about LA All-Star Weekend?
I think LA is a perfect place to host All-Star Weekend. It's one of the few cities that we have in our league that can accommodate all of this. And when I mean all of this, you got over 200 plus countries that's covering the game. You got so many people from all over the world coming to watch our game and just be a part of All-Star Weekend. And we know the traffic. We understand that, but traffic is traffic. And but LA can accommodate that. It's built for stars. It's built for entertainment. It's built for cameras and bright lights. And it's a great place for it. I hope everybody had a great weekend. I know I did. I know my family did. So it was a great weekend.
So what I heard was LA is built for stars. LeBron's the star. LA is built for bright lights. He likes the bright lights. He likes videos and cameras. I mean, he has the uninterrupted, which is headquartered in Los Angeles, in Hollywood to be exact, the city of bright lights, right? He's not bothered by the traffic. He knows it comes with the territory of being in, one of the premier cities in the United States. So, in my opinion, it sounds like LeBron is coming to LA. I'm going to ask you your opinion. What do you think about King James? Where's he going to end up next season?
Sound like he coming home, Lojo?
Sound like he might be.
I don't know about that one, but I definitely feel like he's comfortable here for sure. I mean, not only him, every NBA star comes out here in the summer, so They love it. They love the weather. I mean, I just think he's going to stay in the East because trying to compete in the West, trying to come out and make it to the playoffs, and he wants to – he's super big on stats. I don't know if you see every one of his posts. He just posted the other day, I'm the only player who has 30,000, 8,000, 8,000 this, 8,000 that.
He's his biggest fan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to stay in the East, either Cleveland or to go to the Sixers.
I could see him with the Sixers. I really could, especially if they get a piece. Yeah, they're looking like us, just in the East, But I really hope he makes it to LA. I just really do. As a Lakers fan, I really do.
For sure. And the city needs to be back on the map in the real way.
We really do. I was excited with that 5-game winning streak, and then it's just back to.
We're not gonna talk about that.
We're not gonna talk about that. You're right. Let's keep it on a high note. So Selection Sunday is a few days away. You played in 2 NCAA tournaments. Kind of describe the environment and what these kids are looking forward to.
Oh, Lord.
Or young men, rather.
It's the most exciting time if you're a college basketball player, honestly. I know for myself and all of my teammates, we've been looking forward to that moment just to hear your team get called.
Yes.
On national TV, and every single person is glued to the TV on Sunday to watch the names and the brackets
and the seating.
You know what I mean? Where you going to be? The East Coast? Are we staying on the West Coast? It's the best feeling ever, man. And I know everyone's excited.
Do you still follow college basketball? Because I know I saw you were on the court side at SDSU getting the royal treatment.
But I pretty much follow them mainly. But I follow all the big names like Bagley, obviously, because he's at the Drew. But yeah, more the bigger schools and then just my school personally.
Definitely. Have you ever filled out a bracket? Because I always feel like players are like, nah, I'm not worried about it. I just want to make sure I'm playing.
I filled it out once. Okay. The year right after I finished, I filled one out. I forgot who I picked, but I definitely filled one out. Yeah.
All right. Well, who do you think will win this year's tournament?
I'm rolling with Duke. Like I said, I like Bagley a lot because I seen him firsthand in the Drew.
Right.
And it's either them or Virginia, but I'm definitely rolling with Duke. I like Grayson Allen. I like his leadership as a senior guard. I like Bagley, the freshman. I like Carter, another big man down there to help him out. And Coach K's leadership.
Absolutely. Well, I'm not a Duke fan, but I am a fan of Marvin Bagley. I never do predictions anymore because I'm always wrong. And I feel like I curse the teams that I pick. So I'm more so like, as a journalist, the stories. So I love the Cinderella stories. Those are always like one of my favorite parts of the tournament. And I like to watch specific players. So like you said, I'm going to be looking at Marvin Bagley. Yeah. I'm going to be looking at some of the players that I didn't get to see during, their regular season, whether it was like Colin Sexton or, these high-rated, players. Michael Porter Jr. is another one that I'd like to see. And then, of course, my LA beloveds, Aaron Holiday out of UCLA, and Chimezi Metu out of USC. Yep. I'm going to be looking at DeAndre Ayton, Cal Supreme alum. He is sick. Number 1 overall pick. I'm calling that.
Yeah, I called that. I definitely. Matter of fact, I called that months ago as well.
Yes.
He's somebody I got my eye on too.
I'm telling you, definitely a player to watch out for. And definitely. Now that Arizona's kind of in the clear with all of the NCAA.
Oh yeah, that madness was crazy. So March Madness is definitely going to be it's going to be a hot ball. Everyone going to have their eyes on it.
It's
so
true.
I hope the player's ready.
I know I remember a couple of years ago that I don't remember which player it was, but it was like he was on a national stage, and it was after they had won the tournament, and he said, players don't get like free meals.
Ooh, Shabazz at UConn. I remember.
A Napier, right?
Yep.
Shabazz Napier, yeah. So he said, I go home hungry sometimes. And that was the first time that, the NCAA kind of, he wasn't even trying to, take shots at it. It was just kind of like the first time that the NCAA was like, maybe we need to be doing something about that, because people were outraged. Like, that one of the premier players in college basketball said he was hungry after games sometimes. What are your thoughts on just the NCAA and, the structure and treatment of student athletes?
I mean, me and my friends had hours and hours of talks about that, because as soon as he said that, because that year we would leave practice sometimes and just be on the road and man, we hungry, bro.
And nobody can buy you a meal.
Exactly.
I mean,
you can't really just walk up to somebody that that loves you just because you play on a team and be like, hey man, can I get something?
That's ridiculous.
Or if they offer to buy you something, you got to be like, nah, I'm cool on that. But shit, I think the NCAA definitely needs to fix something on the lines of paying the players, because it's it's a travesty what they're doing to us, man. And I feel for anybody who's going through that, because Shabazz was head on when he said that.
You know, and especially March Madness, that's their big moneymaker. They make billions of dollars during the month of March, and,
goodness.
Players don't see any of that. And it's like they're a nonprofit.
I know. So, I seen me on a commercial one time. I was like, dang.
That's me. Like, they own your likeness, They own your imaging.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Well, I know that you have a great relationship with a lot of guys that are in the NBA, but specifically, and talk about Russell Westbrook and the Thunder right now. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on what's wrong with the Thunder? What's going on there? What is the problem?
I don't know if anything is wrong necessarily, because they went on a streak of like 7-8 games that they were winning.
Right.
And then Andre Roberson got hurt, so the lineup had got switched up, so it kind of threw off their rhythm again.
Melo couldn't make a shot.
Exactly. Then when Melo went out again on that one game against the Warriors, I feel like Paul and Russ, they got like a little groove, and then he came back in and
it's like
it
trying to
shifted.
rework.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Shifted the whole mold of the team again. So I think going into playoffs, though, they're going to be a scary team to watch.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, you got 3 superstars on one team. That's deadly. It's deadly.
What are your thoughts on the Derrick Rose signing in for the Timberwolves?
Man, I got strong thoughts about that, and I definitely had strong thoughts when Jimmy Butler sat out at the All-Star, because I was like, Thibodeau is running them down to the ground. I think that's what happened.
Okay.
I mean,
I thought he might have gone out too many nights. No,
that's the 4th player. At first, you got Dang with the Bulls. Now you look at Noah's career, they're hurt. Derrick Rose got hurt, and now Jimmy Butler got hurt. Like, it's something going on over there, Tibbs. You need to rest your guys, man. Like, right. I just didn't like how that played out. But I'm glad he's back on a roster, though. Derrick Rose.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Deserves to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a reunion, an interesting reunion between if Butler comes back for the playoffs and wishing him a speedy recovery with that.
I hope he comes back, for sure.
Definitely. Well, before I let you go, I have to ask you about this whole transition to rapping. You have parlayed, from being a Division I athlete into being, a rapper and taking it so seriously. Yeah. So describe that transition.
When I first started, it was just a way for me to get my feelings out, you know what I mean? Because when I stopped playing basketball, of course, I was like, damn, I identified myself as being a basketball player for damn near 24 years of my life. Yes. I mean, I didn't know what to do. Like, I mean, they talk about resumes in college. Don't nobody teach you how to do a resume in college. Right. So I was in limbo, kind of. Yeah, I was in a limbo. Mm-hmm. Like, God damn, what do I do now?
Right.
You know what I mean? So I started writing just to get stuff off my chest. And then I started listening to beats. And then stuff just was coming off naturally. And then I started playing music for my friends. And they like, bro, I think you need to take this a little more seriously.
Right.
I never thought about it. I joked around about it like in college. Like, man, if somebody write for me, I'll be on stage like going crazy. But I feel like I found my sound now. I know the topics that makes people react to me, so I just attack it in the same sense of being a college basketball player or a professional basketball player. Go in the studio, record, put out content. Same thing you're doing with reporting. You know what I mean? Questions. Get me on here. Get guests on here. Put out content. You got to flood the market.
I'm telling you, it is, and it's difficult. It's really difficult. So I commend you for what you're doing. I Deserve It is out now on all streaming platforms, iTunes, everywhere you could find it. It's there.
It's a song that anyone can relate to. Obviously, you feel like you deserve to be here.
Yes.
I feel like I deserve to be in the booth on stage. You know what I mean? Expressing myself. So. I deserve it.
I think we have
we all
a clip
deserve
of it. The video. We can run it.
It's Tochi.
Bro, you ready? Let me get him. You get an opportunity, then you gotta take it. Been ballin', shit, I could've been a Laker. My girl favorite line, boy, you a player. Struck my shoulders, put my hands in the air. My mom rich, done know me, that's a no-no. Went for 50, word to my nigga Go-Go. I'm in the city, catch me eating that Soho. With 10 bands on my neck, yeah, this shit glow. Going hard, I ain't got shit to lose. Been a year, nigga, what's your...
I mean, you guys can check it out and follow him at A Quinn.
At A Quinn on Instagram, AQUINN_ A Quinn, and then my real name on Twitter, Aqeel Quinn. Everything is me. I'm not hiding. It's my real name, and yeah.
We appreciate
Thank you for having me, Lo.
Show. This is awesome.
Lojo Media, the Lowdown Podcast.
Yes, we're very proud of you. So my next guest, as he makes his way up here to the set, I want to just say that he's covered everything from the Olympic Games to Kobe's last game. And I want to welcome in photojournalist Aaron Poole. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
This is awesome. So, Aaron, you were at the Oscars, and, you sent that amazing photo of Kobe Bryant to me winning the Oscar. What do you think that moment kind of means for, athletes and then also his legacy as a basketball player?
I think it speaks a little bit more to Kobe's legacy than I think any kind of overall statement for athletes. I mean, we saw Space Jam and Kazam attempt to make some waves, but the interesting thing with Kobe's is he just poured his heart into his goodbye. It was saying goodbye to the object that had made his entire life.
Right.
And the thing that people don't really realize about Oscars is you don't fill out an application packet and send it in. Like, they find it. This was his first passion project to bring his letter to life, and it was so good that it scored an Oscar. And it was really cool to see him in that environment because he didn't necessarily know how to be in it. Right. It was a very different kind of environment for him.
Yeah, I mean, we met at the Drew League, and, I think, you've been to the Drew League, played there, so what is the difference in, working Staples Center events to working the Drew League, in that way?
Staples Center is really a designed execution of a singular event where we all know the Drew League has a soul. Like,
yes.
it is not a single game. It is not, Friday night lights at Staples. It is an entire summer experience that has this cultivated ending, but on a normal Sunday at the Drew, you could have 5 NBA players coming in and playing at a level that matches something you'd see at Staples, but in an environment and in a community that, it's pretty hard to rival Sunday at the Drew when the fire marshal has shut the doors.
Right. I completely agree, and I think that that's what attracts so many people to it. What are your takes on, just what the Drew League brings to the LA community?
I mean, when I first was just a fan of it, I used to watch like James, Russ, aside from that, but James, DeMar, I used to be like, damn, that's so competitive. Like, yeah. And then they trash talking with like just a normal guy just out there. Like, it's really competitive. So when I got a chance to play in it, I felt even more confident going into my college season. Like, oh yeah, if I could play against DeMar or James, like, I'm gonna kill whoever I'm playing against in college.
Joe Schmo.
Yeah, right. So I know college people look at it like that. And then on a pro perspective, I mean, you could work on your game against some good competition. Absolutely.
Well, I just am curious because I know a couple of photographers, but I see them everywhere. But I'm like, what is a day in the life of, a photojournalist?
It's entertaining because it's less of a job and it's a lifestyle. Your life flexes on what schedule you have based off events, what kind of stuff you shoot. For Drew League in the summer, you get Monday through Thursday off, and then you were working 16-hour days the whole weekend, going through 8 games back to back. And, there's definitely no such thing as a normal week.
Right.
Every single week is a unique tailoring to whatever you're able to kind of book or put down for yourself.
And what's your busiest time personally? Because I know you were telling me, you're like, okay, after Oscars, then we can talk.
Well, and this year, it's not only was it Oscars week, but we had NBA All-Star the week before, yes. And then you had Grammys 2 weeks before that, to where this spring has just kind of been a nonstop event after event. Yeah. And then with all the different changes in the NBA, just the push to the playoffs is going to be very different and entertaining, to where, you know, there's not really a slow sports lull right now. Yes. Usually after Super Bowl, we're all kind of bored, waiting for stuff to go. And right now, like, just Tuesday games are really exciting in the NBA.
I mean, and, you know, I was watching before I got here, which was why I was a little tardy. I was watching that Minnesota and Celtics game, and, you know, my heart goes out to Jaylen Brown, because oh my gosh, it was one of the scariest plays I've seen. It's one of those, you know, like, heart-wrenching.
It's the Paul George in Vegas.
Yes, it was like
you feel it.
He like fell on his head after going up for a dunk, and it was just like an awkward landing. So he did walk to the locker room, which is always, you know, promising. But, you know, for a young player especially, it's always, for anyone, but, you know, for young players, I always am like, whew, oh my gosh, I was sweating, oh gosh. But what are your favorite types of events to cover? Is there any one, you know?
You know, I love basketball since I was young. You know, music is a lot of fun to shoot as a photographer, because you're having to almost predict the future. An artist, when they are in their zone, doesn't really know where they're going or what they're doing on stage. They're just moving with that music. And it's really fun to sit there and have to be a couple seconds ahead of them while they're moving, as you're trying to do this weird balance of your settings, your framing, and all that. And there's something about having to do 6 things at once that's really, really fun.
Well, I've been on the receiving end of your lens. I've been blessed with that a few times. And, you know, I just have to say that what you do is so amazing. There's some pictures there from the Drew League, and outside, you caught me outside of Kobe Land, which was so awesome. I was like...
That was jersey retirement night.
Yeah, the jersey retirement night for Kobe. What was that, you know, just briefly, what was that like?
That one was fun because it was a different kind of culmination to the end. Like, Kobe was such a fiery player that the last game, the retirement, then the Oscar, it's so fun to kind of see Kobe getting to take a breath and actually enjoy it. Yes. He didn't have fun while he was doing it. You know, as soon as he lifted that trophy, he gave himself kind of that Alabama football, we get a couple days to enjoy it, and then I got to go make someone mad that I won. That it's fun, you know, to really see him get to smile and really take it in. You know, he's got daughters now that are getting to understand what he did, and I think parent Kobe, along with kind of getting to reminisce Kobe, is kind of softening a little bit from the Mamba attitude, but you're getting to see him mature and grow up into the adult he really wants to be.
Right.
Definitely. What are your thoughts on, you know, that night for LA, Kobe's retirement, and, you know, just his legacy in LA?
I know a bunch of my friends, actually, including you, went down there to, like, just feel the energy of LA. On certain type of days, when you wake up out here, I don't know about you, but when you wake up on like a special day, you could feel the actual energy. Yes. I know I felt it in All-Star too. Just waking up, I'm like, damn, it feels good to be from LA.
Yes.
But just the excitement on that last day, it was like you said, it was a culmination of his whole career. I was like, yes, Kobe.
Did you cry?
No, I didn't cry, but I you know that feeling.
There was a social media tribute though that went out somewhere that day.
Yeah, I'm watching like, damn. Sheesh.
I definitely shed a little. It was like I was watering, but I didn't actually cry.
I felt that.
You felt it, though.
I felt that.
Well, I want to thank you both for joining the show. This was so amazing. And now it's time for Lojo's Week in Sports. My Seahawks, guys. Oh, my gosh. I'm really nervous for this upcoming season. So as a Seahawks fan, it looks like darker times are ahead. So first, you know, I trust Petey and John Snyder. Like, hey, I trust you guys. I know what you can do with little pieces. But we traded Michael Bennett to the reigning Super Bowl champion Eagles. And then, you know, Richard Sherman is saying his goodbyes to the team like he's going to be released. Whoa. And Jimmy Graham is going to be a free agent. And all the while, we have Russell Wilson playing another sport, an entire another sport. Like, he's a New York Yankee right now. That's what he's worried about. So, you know, just like I said, I trust Petey and John Schneider, but, you know, I'm just curious what this draft is going to look like for us in this free agency period, because it's crucial and we need to get it together. The Legion of Boom is like the Legion of Doom now. It's just, you know, deteriorating before our very eyes, and I'm just nervous as a fan. But anyways, that's it for, Lojo's Week in Sports. But this week, I have a very special shot caller of the week. I wanted to honor my right hand at Lojo Media, Tiana Hunter. She started with me as an intern 4 years ago, and she celebrated her 20th birthday on Tuesday. I wanted to give you a small token of my appreciation.
Hey.
Thank you so much for all that you do. I have a little gift for you. She looks good always, so I'm just going to bring her on and say happy birthday. Thank you. We're so proud of you.
Thanks. Oh, sorry.
Oh, all good, all good. I had to just give her a little tribute because she is amazing, guys. Like, when I tell you she runs the social for the Lowdown podcast, she does all the things. Every time I call her, she's there early with a smile. So I really appreciate you, and I'm looking forward to your bright future as a journalist as well. So, now, I have another thing. It's called #Facts. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but it's my way of celebrating Black history all year round because, hey, I am unapologetically Black. And this week, it is none other than Ella Fitzgerald. And this is also in celebration of, Women's International Women's Day. At Super Bowl, I believe that's 6 in New Orleans, set in 1972, Ella Fitzgerald became not only the first jazz artist to perform the halftime show, but she was the first African-American woman, period, to perform. And, in celebration of all the women out there and all the women that have supported me over my entirety of my career, I want to say thank you to my producer, Charlene. Thank you, girl. That rundown is always looking tight. To the woman who owns this studio that she allows me to record in, Miss Poetess, we appreciate you and you empowering and giving me a platform to kind of share, my story and to bring on amazing guests like the ones I had today. So with that being said, that's it for today's show, guys. Thank you for tuning in. And a huge thank you to my special guest again, Aqeel Quinn, AQ, and Aaron Poole Images on Instagram. I didn't plug that earlier, but yes, follow him. If you missed any parts of the show, you can find it on pretty much everywhere, YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, /Lojo Media. Again, I'm your host, Lauren A. Jones. Follow me on social media at Lojo Media. And we'll be back in 2 weeks, so look forward to some social content in the meantime. You can follow us at The Lowdown Podcast on all social platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And we'll see you then. Stay tuned. Thanks, guys, for tuning in.